I leave on the 21st, so that is exactly 3 days away from the glorious day I graduate and get the fuck out of this goddamn place.
Isn't that Thursday? Isn't the 21st Thursday?
Thursday is the day I'm going to officially be out of this base. I'll be graduating on Wednesday. Then here's a fun fact. I graduate, and then what happens after that is I immediately come back here, get all my shit together, probably get like an hour's worth of rest. I don't leave until I get up at until I get waken up at 3 o'clock in the morning for them to look for a staff sergeant or any of the military training leaders to come and inspect my room, so that way I can go forth and see everything is good. Come back downstairs, wait till like 10 in the fucking morning until I get one more briefing, in of which they tell me, okay, everything's great, now please leave, and I find a way to get out of here myself.
That sounds like the most intense walkthrough of an apartment before you leave ever.
It's not an intent. I never had that before, but
that's kind of what it is. Minus the waiting 6 hours. That's kind of what walkthrough is. You clean out your apartment. They walk through it to make sure you didn't break anything, so they can give you back your deposit, and you give them the keys, and you go on your merry way.
Yeah, but I can't exactly leave. Like if I was able to just go, I would have gone in a goddamn heartbeat. But I'm not able to do that. I have to wait all this fucking time, and then have to then be briefed, then leave. And even then, like I had to get some stuff set up before I get out of here, and it's been mildly hectic on doing that because at first I was going to get a Amtrak from Oakland City to come down to Austin, because
Oakland City.
Yeah.
That's where you are right now. Oh, wait, where are you right now?
Wichita Falls, Texas.
Wichita Falls.
I'm going to explain this because at first nobody was exactly going to leave, drive to the direction I was going to. So I had one classmate drive up to, like, she's going to straight up Pennsylvania in car, which is actually a really smart thing thinking about it.
She has a car though. You don't have a car.
I don't have a car, so that was out. Well, there wouldn't be a problem, except that train ticket leaves at 11 o'clock in the morning in Oakland. I would have to be up. I would have to get out of here at 9 o'clock just to barely get there to go take the train when it departs.
Wait a minute. Is there an Oakland, Texas, or
Oakland City, Oklahoma?
Oh, like Oklahoma City.
Yes.
Oh, say Oklahoma, dude. There's a huge difference between Oklahoma and Oakland. Huge difference.
I'm not going to former Raider Nation like I needed to be in the first place.
After today, it's still Raider Nation until they leave. So
yeah, sure, whatever. They're still going to be gone anyway.
You want to take that up with Sammy?
Sure. I mean, they're still going to leave, and you can take your happy ass to Las Vegas and bet all your money and investments on the Raiders getting to the Super Bowl. I mean, granted, there might be some hope, but I said some in a small sense of description because, let's be honest, they're not going to be in the goddamn Super Bowl.
Well, they kind of have the same chance as the Atlanta Falcons do. So.
Well, the Texans have a better chance of actually getting into the Super Bowl.
No, they don't. I can tell you, as of week 2 of the NFL, they do not. Hell, at this point, they'd be lucky to even make it to the playoffs.
And yeah, you're a fan of something that loses a lot. I mean, at least you're not the Detroit Lions fan.
Well, yeah, my friend is.
Oh.
But no, it's as a Houston fan, you just have to brace for the other shoe to drop when it comes to things. For example, today, the Astros won the AL West. Hooray! Now I'm just waiting for them to somehow just burn it all down when they do get to the postseason.
Oh, the Astros? Last time I remember hearing that name was my first question, which is going to be now the repeated question. Aren't those the guys that basically ripped off Converse shoes?
Wait, what?
The logo, the star.
The star? No. They had that star logo. When did Converse come into being then? Because they've had that logo since they started, which would, I believe, at least the 60s or late 50s.
Like a fucked up looking orange crush can.
Oh, the star and the H?
Yeah, sure.
Well, the star's kind of, that's kind of indicative of the state of Texas, Lone Star State and all that. So.
Ego's a motherfucker around here. And so afterward, so that didn't work out. And now I decided, I was like, okay, well, I can take a plane ticket, but taking a plane ticket all the way to taking an hour plane ticket for about $190 didn't seem like a fair share deal because it's just
not.
yeah, it's flying from Wichita to Dallas, which then Joseph Compton was going to pick me up and spend 2 hours just talking to him and like just chatting it up before we go down there. So there's that, and I wasn't going to do that. So instead, I did the one thing that I wasn't sure to do because I never had any experience doing it. I decided to go to budget and rent a car. So I'm just gonna drive down from Wichita Falls to Dallas with somebody else that's gonna split the fare with me, and then I'm going to wait until Joseph picks me up in Dallas, so that way you just drive to Austin and spend the night at his house for a quick second, and then basically figure out how am I gonna Jesus, how to say this, how to put it like this. I figure out how am I gonna like kill time to just show up on high score and then show up on Sunday service. Then spend
something tells me you can find a way to kill time in Austin for that amount of time.
Besides excessive drinking.
Well,
yeah, that's what I thought.
You've kind of narrowed down your scope now, haven't you? Like you throw a stone in Austin, you'll hit a bar somewhere, someplace. I mean, come on. I'm not saying
drinking is bad. When you've been in the Air Force here long enough, we literally have to, in order for us to process, we literally have to do a thing where we can optionally take a survey of, hey, don't drink. Anyway, that's about it. And that's it. Like these guys, we have so much AFI incident, alcohol-related incidents, ARIs, alcohol-related incidents here. It's not even funny. So them telling us to not drink is almost just like so redundant to the point where it's like, well, I want to buy comics too, but I don't want to excessively spend it on like fucking $3 for a fucking Texas Lone Star beer.
Well, that's actually very terrifying to see our future people in the military have drinking problems. But with that little nugget of knowledge, I'd like to welcome everyone to the What If podcast. I'm your host Ugo, and my co-host this week is the Reverend Marcus Jones, aka Musical Mondays with Marcus, is what I remember him from. The last time me and Marcus talked, he had a show that I was on his podcast for. We were listening to remixes, original songs, seeing which ones are better. So I'd like to introduce everyone to Marcus Jones. Marcus, say hello to the peoples.
The fuck you mean had? I still have the goddamn show.
I know. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. English isn't my first language. It is my first language.
Like a fucking past tense bullshit. Like you're trying to actually make me irrelevant. I'm still doing this goddamn show. I've just been busy.
If it makes you feel better, your show's bigger than my show, so that makes you feel better.
Oh, now we're overcompensating, aren't we? Okay, then I see the problem here.
How am I overcompensating? Your show is.
Hi, everybody. It's nice to be on this show. I really do enjoy your guest host thing of what you're doing on this podcast.
Please tell everyone a little about yourself, even what you've already said right now, and what you're all about, my friend.
Hello, everybody. My name is Marcus Jones. As you know, as he told you, I do a podcast which is music-based. Music Mondays with Marcus. Long story short, I did a music segment on the website doubletoasted.com for about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. And from then, a friend of mine from the Midnight Chat Attack, which is also another thing Double Toasted does, and that's a community-based thing. They, one of the people, Nick Diaz, that's his name. Nick Diaz decided that I should do a podcast.
How did you almost forget Nick's name? That's so sad.
Because I'm learning on doing stuff to help make freedom ring in this goddamn country, and you're telling me that I'm forgetting a name? First off, I have other crap in my hands that I need to take care of. Not saying Nick Diaz isn't an important person. I'm just saying that it's just been, I'm almost getting the fuck out of here. So, like, just don't try and throw this crap on me.
Please continue, Marcus.
Yes. So as I was saying, yes. So I'm doing a podcast while I'm in tech school at the moment, as of this recording, and that which also keeps me sane in this place that is the armpit of Texas, Wichita Falls, which is it's not a joke. I'm not saying it's literal armpit of Texas, but everything just sucks around here.
It's Wichita Falls. I concur. It's
Yeah, I mean, the only good thing that I went to is a nice little bar that's next to this mall. And I never thought this would be a great idea, but this bar serves like their own pizzas, right? Brick oven pizzas. And when I was
Sounds
eating
like a good idea.
no, okay, it gets better. When I was eating the pizza, I noticed to have like a dipping sauce on here, which I thought, okay, what the hell is this? And I ate the crust, dipped it in there, and just ate it. And it turns out to be just honey with like a pepper, like the peppers that you put on pizza with. And it's like the most simplest idea, but it's the most satisfying goddamn thing you'll ever taste.
Huh? Like sweet and spicy.
Yes, like sweet and spicy. You never thought of that, but it actually works really well.
That's Marcus. What you should do? You need to go bottle it and sell it somewhere on the side of the street. Marcus's secret sauce or something. I don't know.
Now you're just making this innocent little podcast seem more perverted than it needs to be. I thought I had integrity coming into this place.
You said innocent. None of us are innocent on this show.
Yeah, sure. But yes, like I was saying, also, right now at the moment I'm backtracking on a bunch of albums I have not been able to listen to as much, and trying to compile a list hopefully next week that will be like best of 2017 so far.
Oh wow. So your latest episode, I know the episode I was on wasn't your latest episode because I haven't been on for a while, because I will fill in everyone later where I have been. But Marcus, what your latest episode, what was that all about?
The latest, I think the most previous episode, because God, recording just sucks in general, trying to make sure you have time for yourself to put all this together along with the editing. I presume the last one I did, hold on for a second, because I know it's supposed to be like I recorded a episode with you, the which sounds better, but I think I did another one. Oh, it was the DragonCon 2017.
Oh, that's right. Your tears were pretty present on Twitter. You were not happy.
That I'm not happy on it. I understand the situation that I'm in at the moment, but it really does suck to see like a lot of cool kick-ass people that show up there. If you follow a dude named Xavier Woods, which is a wrestler on WWE, which follows Twitter, he goes there every year, and he does like some amazing cosplay work when he comes on there. He recently, while he was there, he cosplayed as Mojo Jojo. Yeah.
Did he have 3 girls following around as the Powerpuff Girls?
No, but his friend was that was like big black dude dressed up like that devil transvestite. Yeah, him.
Him?
Yeah.
I was thinking, did he have someone dressed up as him?
Yeah, he did. It was pretty cool. Oh, and the funniest one he did was he cosplayed as Cruella de Vil. And I know the place he took this picture at. It's the hotel has like this little underground parking lot and stuff, which kind of looks like if Rick Ross made a video on the cheap, he would put it there because it's just location wise, it's great. And he's like, I think he's behind like a purple car, kneeling down and praying, looking like he's about to neck and neck on a trap album cover. It is. It's entertaining. But the episode itself, yeah, every year I do a thing where DragonCon comes up, and I basically said like, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not even going to bother recording because I'm going to get shit faced there. So before then, I do a challenge where I get 2 guests, or as many guests as I can, are available, and we go forth and listen to all of the performers that are going to be they're performing that year in DragonCon. Spoiler alert. Most of them fucking suck. And
ooh, for real?
Oh, dude. Okay. I want I want your fans to challenge you to listen to this band.
Okay.
This band is called Crew Shadows, and Crew Shadows.
Awesome band name.
Oof, awesome band name. You're in for a treat. Let me get this right. KRUX. Shadows. Hold on.
It sounds like Crux Shadows.
Crux Shadows. CRUX Shadows, and they basically play industrial rock music. And holy fuck, I never heard anything so egregiously bad in my life. It's so bad. It is so fucking terrible of music to listen to. And I try to like, come everything with open-minded in sleeve and stuff. That music is whatever. If you like it, you like it. But fuck me, man. I couldn't.
Music has rhythm of some type, and this band has none of it.
No, dude, they do not. They absolutely do not. Like, they have a fan base, but Logan Paul has a fan base. So what does that pretty much just tell you about talent? And it's terrible. It's mostly just shitty. I just challenge people to actually listen to that, to say,
why, like, if DragonCon's kind of a big thing, why can't DragonCon like get better, be able to book better names or bigger names or names that are
because think, dude, it's a sci-fi convention. Like,
it's Atlanta.
You have a point. But still, but the reason why I say that is because it's a sci-fi convention, so they usually look for bands that are just into that degree of sci-fi. So that's why you have like a lot of bands there that are like, they specifically just do nerd rock. And
I'm actually shocked. Has Childish Gambino been there? Because that would be a perfect matching of Atlanta sci-fi nerd stuff. Childish Gambino, don't you think?
I would too, but at this point he would just spend like about an hour just doing nothing but like smooth jazz and Earth, Wind, and Fire covers in front of people that are dressed up like, let me think, 3 sexy Leias, 3 Deadpools that dress up as sexy Leias, and 3 bearded fat men that are dressed up as sexy Leias on there too.
You're telling me no one's going to listen to him an hour doing smooth jazz and covers?
If he wants to make another meme, that's the perfect way to actually do it. If you
exactly
decide want to do that, but I don't think that he made Redbone intentionally for the internet to fuck around with.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Mm-hmm. Well, that was DragonCon. I thought it was during Labor Day weekend, right?
Yeah, it was during Labor Day weekend, which over here in the real world, what I like to call, I ended up spending like a 4-day weekend just doing jack shit and just catching and initially trying to catch up on some work.
Well, at least, you were doing something normal. Labor Day weekend in my neck of the woods may have been a bit more challenging. I guess by the time this comes out, I guess everyone knows that the fake news that Donald Trump was talking about actually happened in the last month. As in Hurricane Harvey hit the Houston Gulf Coast area. As you know, I'm in Houston, reporting in Houston. Luckily for me, my own family and mine, we're all okay. We didn't get any damage. My car got a little water in it, but it's fine. So I'm okay. Unfortunately, there were a lot of people in Houston, in the Gulf Coast area, that really got affected, and they got boned. And Mother Nature said, I'm not done with you yet, coastal United States. So after Harvey left, a week later, the entire state of Florida just pretty much got fucked. Mm-hmm. And Georgia, and some of the Carolinas, and let's not forget the Caribbean. So all those places, it wasn't really, for Houston, the Gulf Coast, and Texas, it wasn't actually the hurricanes, it was the rain. Because Houston is built pretty much below sea level, and it rained nonstop for like 2 days. And because of that, and because, greed is greed, so they're building all these new houses everywhere on the places where water is supposed to go. A lot of people got flooded out of their houses, damaged cars, things like that. There's a lot of devastation. People, there's been an outpouring of people helping out, which is great. People donating, volunteer, stuff like that. So for this episode, I just want to, I'm just gonna put links up for people. I know it's 3 weeks out. I know it's like, it might be like out of, not in the mainstream anymore, but I'm gonna put 3 links up. One of the links is called ghcf.org. It's Hurricane Harvey Relief Fund. I want to throw a couple of bucks there, great. There's another one called volunteerflorida.org. You want to throw a couple of bucks to Irma and people in Florida, that's great too. And also, let's not forget about the Caribbean. They got screwed too, especially the Virgin Islands. So there's a place called globalgiving.org, and you could donate there. And not just like for Irma. There's also other places like those earthquake in Mexico that they got fucked too. So just 3 links. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. 3 links. I'm going to put them on the podcast, on YouTube. You can click there if you want to donate. Great. If not, it's fine. I'm not forcing you guys to do anything. So just help out if you can. But the thing is, when all that happened, I wasn't even here, dude. I left the day all this started. I went to Rome.
So in other words, you're a black guy in horror movies since just rang like a bell, and you decided to get the fuck out of something that was going to be very bad.
Pretty much, man. It was weird because I'd planned this trip to Rome for months, and it just we were leaving the Friday morning, and the thing made landfall like Friday evening, and it just hammered the Gulf. It just hammered Houston and like Corpus Christi, Texas, all that. And yeah, it sucks because I'm in Rome and I'm looking on Facebook and like, oh wow, the city of Houston is half underwater. Oh fuck, like highways that I drove on the 24 hours prior to go to work and stuff like that are just completely submerged underwater. Street signs, there's water up to the street signs that are supposed to be 10 feet off the ground, kind of thing.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? I think that in some part in Houston, some guy somewhere had to go, fuck, this is really gonna screw up my fantasy football line now.
Oh yeah, I was kind of that guy, but not to the point where the rain. It was the point of everyone wanted to do their fantasy drafts like while I was in Europe. So I was like, guys, can we do it before or maybe during Labor Day? Because I came back like the Saturday before Labor Day. It's like, can we do it during Labor Day? Everyone's like, no, let's do it that week. So,
I like to imagine one of your friends pretty much like had their house damn near flooded, and you know the water's about to hit the ceiling. Yet there's a scene where like they're holding their phone right up on the ceiling.
I have to get Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I must draft Le'Veon Bell.
Right.
Yeah, well, this fantasy football is a multi-billion-dollar business, so yeah, they get pretty serious with that one. So yeah, so that's what happened with me. I went to Rome. It was a great trip. I loved it. Saw all the crazy things. And the funny thing is, even before I went to Rome, the Monday before that, I saw the solar eclipse. Dude, if you ever want to do anything in your life, seeing a solar eclipse should be on one of them.
So just because, so in your thought, since you saw Trump do it, you decided to do the same fucking thing?
Well, I'm not a fucking idiot, and I actually went to Oregon to do it, where you can see a full solar eclipse to actually look at the sun during the solar eclipse. And even then, before and after those 2 minutes during total, totality, you can't look at the sun. You just can't. Don't be stupid. You have to have those glasses on. Well, when you have an idiot running the country, I don't know what else you're going to do. But it was actually pretty cool. It was really, really cool. So I did both of those things in like a 2-week period. So I've been around, and I came back, had to recover from all this Harvey stuff. So that's why it's been like a month since I've had my last episode. I'm sorry, guys. I will be more regular after this, and that's why I'm here right now. So that's where I've been the last 2 weeks. It's been pretty fun.
I know it's a once in a lifetime thing, but my lazy ass decided not to do it because like Texas is hot and it's warm outside, and even if the sun's not there, it's still gonna be fucking warm.
That's fine, Marcus. You can just wait till 2024 when it comes right through Texas.
Hell fucking yeah. And not to mention I have YouTube, Twitter, and damn near everything on the goddamn internet that reminds me of what the fucking solar eclipse looked like.
It's not the same, dude. It's not the same. Like, it got, like, literally, like, have you ever had, like, been in a point where you're kind of about to pass out and things start to get, like, hazy and darker? Have you ever felt that before?
How'd you know my training in tech school?
There you go. Imagine that happening everywhere all at once. And it got, like, 20 degrees cooler, and all the night animals came out and started making noises and shit because they thought it was nighttime. It was actually pretty cool. Okay, let me do a counterpoint with that. So the thing about live concerts itself is that there's always this "you should have been there" moment, which I get because you don't want to miss like a very cool kick-ass, fear of missing out. FOMO.
Yes, that type of thing. But then when you kind of go to a concert, or better yet, let's put it like this: if Beyonce was doing a concert, you have to go see the Queen. Obviously, you have to see the Queen.
Yes.
Then again, you see the ticket prices, which is like, I am not paying $500 for mid seats. I might as well just go watch this on her movie in IMAX, where I can sit my ass down, watch popcorn, and look at her dance in 3D glasses for I don't know about $6. Well, let's be inflation prices, $30-something. I would say there's the exception to a rule with that. Now, hey man. Let's be honest here. And not to mention, your ears are not going to be blown out by all the fans screaming in front of Beyonce because apparently that's how they get her attention. And not to mention have to see...
they get her attention.
And not to mention seeing opening acts that you kind of don't want to see. Then you're standing there for a long period of time because, look, I just want to see her. Want to get this hour over with. I don't want to see these two other opening bands and shit. And then you got to get in front of the crowd and whatnot. Then there's people on their phones most of the fucking time because they're trying to get a screenshot saying that I was there. Or that one time some chick tried to take a selfie right next to the stage and stuff. Just like those little stipulations in life that kind of makes you not really like the concert as much.
Yeah, but the main difference would be if there was nothing ever in the world like an actual concert or Beyonce, and it only happened like once every 30 years, then yes, it'd be worth it. But
Look,
a Beyonce concert happens every month.
I'll,
If a solar eclipse happened every month, then no, I wouldn't be going all the way up to Oregon to do it. But it happens once every. The last time it happened was like 1918.
okay, your point being?
You know what, Marcus? Stay in your little bubble. Stay in your little army bubble, and this is your rifle, this is your gun. Full Metal Jacket place.
First off, motherfucker, it's the United States Air Force. Second of all, I will not be hesitant to elbow the fuck out of a 12-year-old just to see a few Gorillaz tickets on the nosebleed section. I'm not saying I'm not doing that. What I'm not doing is paying a ridiculous price amount of money to go see a concert from just then and there. Okay, and it depends upon a celebrity too. I'm not going to be like skipping my goddamn rent just to see one person doing a concert. Okay, if I was like 22, that shit would slide. But now I got bills and shit to pay.
Would you skip your rent to go see one of your boos from I can't remember that Asian chick on your Twitter feed. Would you, if she was going to be at a certain place and she's like being real quote unquote intimate with fans, would you quote unquote pay half of your rent price to go see that person at that place?
I mean,
for those of you who can't see the video because there is no video of this, Marcus's face is so exactly, Marcus. We all have a price. We all have a price.
I'm not saying I not wouldn't do it, but
exactly, yeah.
But then you have to also think about like, okay, if they're doing an quote unquote intimate session and stuff with certain person, that means cameras would be there. And
no, intimate means private.
Okay.
He's like, private. Yeah, Marcus. Yeah.
If I get her number, I don't care if I'm eating like top ramen in a recycled cup for like 3 weeks straight. I will still hold my head up high and says I got them pics though.
Exactly, Marcus. That's your price, and I totally get that. I totally get that, man. So that's what I did last 2 weeks. Solar eclipse, Rome, back in Houston, kicking ass, taking names, things like that. And it's just a whole huge clusterfuck with stuff happening, cameras everywhere. And it's funny that you say cameras, Marcus, because that kind of brings us to our topic of this week. It's September. It means fall season. That means all the new shows, at least for network anyways, are coming around. New shows are coming up, and along with new shows come other new shows that come around all the time, year round. It doesn't matter. And these shows are reality shows. Some of our favorite shows like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Dr. 90210, etc., etc. So actually, this is a subject that you brought up, Marcus. So how about you tell the people what our what if scenario is for this week?
So out of a random thought I decided to have. So this was a random thought where I thought about it for a second because I think we talked about something about improv when we were recording before, and then I thought about something else too, and it wasn't really out of spite and frustration. It was kind of a thing of interest where you kind of think to yourself, yeah, what the fuck happens if reality shows never exactly existed?
That and that is actually a great idea. That's why I loved it and I wanted to talk about it. I'm just going to give a quick history of like, when did all this start? A lot of people might think like, oh, it's like the Osbournes or the Real World that happened back in the early 90s. Actually, you could actually go back to the first reality show we had was Candid Camera. It was a show that was made back in 1948. That's when it first aired. And then they had Candid Camera. They had other stuff like Queen for a Day, Cash and Carry. The first actual real world show was actually some Scandinavian, the show in like Scandinavia or something like that. It was called Nummer 28. It was Dutch, I'm sorry. It was a Dutch show that aired in 1991. It was the concept of putting strangers together in the same environment for an extended period of time and recording the drama that ensued. And after that, a year after that, that's when we had the first real world show that aired on MTV in New York. And after that, we had Road Rules, and then from there, and then it's, at that time, reality TV was a show here, a show there. It wasn't huge until, I think, like, the late 90s, when all of a sudden they had, the Osbournes, and from there it just exploded. Like, everyone had a reality show and all other stuff. So, with reality show, and I think one of the misnomers with reality shows is the actual reality of it. Because whenever you see the credits of a reality show, you always see like script supervisor, script writer, and all those other things. But if it's reality, how is there a script? So I guess what we can dive into is like, what if we actually just kept doing scripted things, and there weren't reality shows that we have right now, which has basically not only changed the way we watch television and entertainment, but just the way people are perceived in just media and our environments ourselves.
Well, as far as the scripted part goes, if we still didn't have any like scripted stuff going on at the moment, I would still think that if reality shows didn't exist with that script writing thing, we would still have more hacky ass, in my idea, hacky ass sitcoms that would just kind of oversaturate the market on there. Because during the 80s,
more than now, because there was a lot back in the 80s.
Oh no,
70s
so
and 80s.
I'm saying this in the sense because like a lot of around the time, because I heard this on Mark Maron and a lot of like old school comedians complain about this, was like when comedy got super huge, what happened was that you had a huge surge of stand-up comedians going on to the point where like stand-up was like everywhere. It was the biggest thing, like wildfire. And a lot of times you end up having people that just didn't do comedy. They were just doing a whole set just to essentially get some like three camera sitcom, so that way they can kind of coast off of just doing shitty, hacky things and just like, you know, do lazy crap on it.
Oh,
so,
absolutely.
Even then,
when you're a comedian, you made it when you had your own sitcom. Absolutely.
Yeah. Hence, that's why like you got like BoJack Horseman sort of doing that little weird type
putting it on its head and how. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I would see a little bit more of that, but just get like progressively worse and worse and oversaturated, or as I like to call it, what happens if 2.5 Men basically started early, and that's what we would end up getting right now.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's how I see it in the beginning. With that, I think you guys still have something in the likes of that, in the same thing as the real world, but you would have way more laugh tracks and stuff to it, because you could still a lot of comedies can be like down to earth and something about, oh, my wacky roommate had this type of thing. So yeah, it was you just have like your stupid hacky shit like that, because I know like Sklar Brothers had Apartment 23. Jim Brewer and Dave Chappelle had a show called Buddies. And
yeah, I remember Buddies.
yeah, fun fact. Jim Brewer got fired even before like the show even came on.
Okay.
So it was he talked about this on Mark Man's podcast, where he said like it's kind of a weird feeling to watch a commercial of the show Buddies that you're working on in a bar, knowing that you're not going to be on there. It's going to get canceled immediately, and they just wanted to push Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. Well, so with what you're saying right now, basically you're saying there'd be a more proliferation of sitcoms if we didn't have reality TV as we know it today. So with that, I'd ask, which is the better of the two evils, the sitcoms or the reality shows? They're both awful. Me personally, I hate. If I see a show with a laugh track, I want to stab the TV. I just do.
It's kind of a weird thing, because like it is a lesser of two evils, because on one hand you just kind of have like hacky people basically getting famous for no fuck of a reason, and in reality shows you have the same thing, but
people getting famous just for no fucking reason.
Yeah, but then it kind of shows you like how desperate somebody would end up getting famous just for the sake of just being outrageous in front of a camera, versus like somebody being on the sitcom and kind of say, oh, this is how they wrote me into it, and that's how I'm just going to portray it and stuff.
So, Mike, another question we bring up with people being famous, because of how reality TV has evolved, it is also I guess, change what it means to quote unquote be famous. Because remember, you used to be famous if you're on television or in movies, but now you can be quote unquote internet famous. You could be Omarosa, or you could be that chick from what was his name, Peck from Real World or whatever. Like
Tech.
You could Tech. There you go, Tech from Real World. You could do one outrageous thing on one moment on one reality TV show, and all of a sudden you're quote unquote famous. You didn't have to do auditions, you didn't have to read lines, you didn't have to memorize the script, you didn't have to do the traditional thing like that. And it actually changed the way people are getting famous. For Christ's sake, the Catch You Outside girl has a fucking TV show and record deal.
I didn't know she had a TV show.
Oh yeah, she has a reality show. Just for
Okay.
saying "Catch Me Outside." How about that not Jerry Springer, but Dr. Phil kind of thing. So it kind of before it used to be I got to go to Hollywood or I got to go to New York. I got to do all these other things, and which they still do now. I got to do all these other things, and then I got to work up in the ranks, and all of a sudden I'll be discovered and get famous. To the point now where you just turn on a camera anywhere you are, do something crazy or stupid, and all of a sudden, quote unquote, fame. You're received with you get fame kind of thing. It's kind of changed the route we kind of do things, and has it made it better in that yes, there are more people getting into it, getting YouTube famous, but then we have to ask, because all those people are getting YouTube famous, you're getting lost in the noise, and we're actually starting to appreciate people that actually do the craft and do the work of acting and performing and things like that.
I think the sad part of the fun reality of it is that because of reality shows that sort of filtered out untalented shitheads. You still have those people here, but it also kind of just works that system over. Like we're saying, you're kind of out. It's obvious that this thing is people are gonna exploit this, but then we're gonna actually find true gems on here. Sadly, the thing about it though is like people go with the rotten garbage than going with the good that comes out with it. So even without reality shows at the time, and YouTube is YouTube, you're still gonna have webcam people, you're still gonna have that like group of people then too, and the instant famous and stuff.
But would YouTube even be YouTube if it weren't for like the Real World and the Osbournes and people just having a camera shooting things at random things? I'm not saying YouTube was created because of that, but YouTube wouldn't be what we know today if it weren't for like quote unquote reality TV, like the Real World, Road Rules, the Osbournes, things like that.
Not particularly, because I would end up saying that if YouTube existed, and the closest thing to reality TV that would come around that time for YouTube would be people doing vlogs and stuff, because you couldn't. I would think like, okay, what if people didn't do little vlogs? It's like, no, you can't exactly say that as bad, because you can sort of look into a documentary of somebody's like life, just now on Reddit, there's a quote unquote documentary about a guy taking his video camera and going to his high school in 1991 to see what the life of a high schooler was like around that time, or his life itself. So it'd be interesting to kind of see in the mindset of like how this person lives versus how you're living yourself. It would be a little bit more authentic, but just like how people are just instantly want to get famous, it would just ramp up insanely faster than anything else, because when that surge comes up, it just has like this I have to do this, so I'm going to do like this what everybody else is sort of doing, sort of in a sense of like saying it's like a meme in a sense. Like if you think of it like, okay, this joke is happening here, okay, well, I'm going to do this, make it even funnier, and then there's that domino effect of like, I'm going to make it funnier and funnier, this one, so on and so forth. So if you have
until someone kills the joke.
until someone kills a joke. So like with vlogs, you would have people getting insanely famous just for recording themselves and talking about how their usual day is. But I think it would probably 3 times as vicious as it was when you had people like folks on like Survivor and stuff fucking people over just for the sake of showing it on camera so they can be instantly famous. I think the best description I can come up with this is, so TMZ is whatever, and these are just like paparazzi exploiting people so they can get some information off of them. And that's bad, right? That's like obviously bad for paparazzi. If you go to England and Britain, they are 3 times as worse as.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
Yeah, they're insanely worse than what we have in America. So if you think about it, if you just had like a regular Joe that just did like his vlogs and stuff, and you instantly had like some paparazzi get in your face and stalking you, that would make it insanely bad on just the side of the individual, because it kind of shows you like how destructive and horrible it is. Yeah, I have this understanding of like, hey, I just like imagine if there's a guy that's saying like, okay, this is what I do. I cook for a living. I kind of show you how to cook and stuff. Then when you're just going to a grocery store and a guy with a camera kind of comes in your face and wants to ask questions and stuff, that kind of comes off as creepy if you think about it, just for that average Joe themselves, because they're making something sincere.
But that actually brings up a good question of when you do reality shows or you come quote unquote YouTube famous, there are at least in this country, there are laws or like lawsuits with like libel or slander in that if you're a private citizen, them doing those things to you would be illegal. But once you become famous, quote unquote, then you're no longer protected by those privacy laws. So I guess would be, what is the line, like how much exposure do you have to be quote unquote famous type of thing? Let's say like my podcast right now, it blows up, right? If like one of those paparazzis came to me, start taking pictures, could I now say, hey, I'm a private citizen, you can't do this, I'm suing you kind of thing? Or would the judge say no, because you're so widespread or people know you so much, you're now a public figure and hence you're not exempt to these laws?
I think that comes off from the individual themselves, because well, I'm not gonna say personally speaking, but how to say this. So there's this guy that I follow before I got into the United States Air Force. His name was Kyle Gott. Kyle Gott is this guy on YouTube that like does vlogs and videos and stuff of the Air Force, what his life is like, and what he does in a day, and to give you tips and advice on what you have to expect in going to basic military training. I think as of now he has about 300 subscribers on his YouTube page, and he's still like a citizen. He's actually a service member too. But from what he's doing, he's not doing it to get famous. He's just kind of, at first he started just doing like, this is what I'm doing. I'm getting to the Air Force and it's going to tell you my experience and stuff. And his stuff comes off very sincere. He's not trying to exploit or do anything with people. For that, I think in what I'm coming to is like, if the person is coming off as very sincere and saying, and even if like the TMZ or something comes up in their faces, they'll ask nicely, like, can you just like, I'm just a regular guy, it's whatever, just that's about it, can you give me some privacy? I think in the decency of human beings, that would probably pass as like, this guy just wants to do his thing, it's whatever, I don't want to bother him. Now, if you're trying to basically get attention for the sake of attention and trying to get your talent for the idea of getting famous, because I personally think it's based upon people's attitude of how they want to turn out to have things be, of if they want to be famous or not. Then I think in the other spectrum of that, where you have, I guess, I don't know, like
because like
no.
When you talk about that, it all comes to sincerity. For example,
yes.
People like Rush Limbaugh or Ann Coulter, they'll say some outlandish, crazy shit on TV to be famous, but like in real life, they actually believe like the exact opposite of what they're saying. They just do it to get famous. They just do it to get money, type of thing. How do you differentiate between the people who are sincerely just doing something that they want to do to give out information, and other people that are just stoking the flames and just doing outrageous stuff to get famous?
I think it generally just comes off as the term of real recognizes real, where a person
can't recognize his game, Craig. Can't recognize his game, Granddad.
Yeah, hey, it is what it is. Like I try. I know people I follow on YouTube that are just doing stuff for the sake of sincerity. It's like, I just want to do this because it's very entertaining for me, versus the guy. Or let's go back to Logan Paul, where he's just like this 20-something shithead, where he like sets mattresses on fire in his backyard, disrupts his neighbor, and just like literally goes to a rapper's house just to follow him and saying if he wants to do like an album or like a collaboration and stuff. Clearly you're doing that just for the sake of staying relevant, versus the person that's just trying to give out information. So a person you can tell is trying too hard is just doing that for the sake of, I just need to be famous because I just want to be famous, versus a guy that's just starting from the ground up and getting famous because of sincerity, because of what he wants to do. And if he asks the fan base, the people that he or she makes fans of, then they'll respectfully say, okay, back away, it's totally fine, because I think I know it's a self accomplishment thing, but a sincerity thing, but it also relies on the fans themselves.
But and that also brings up a good point, relying on the fans themselves. I don't know if it's human nature or if we've been conditioned to do it or something like that, where the fans, especially now in the information age that we live in right now, we always want to know more about people that we love. if you really, really like someone, you always want to know like what their favorite thing is, what they like to do, where they come from, where they're born. Like you want to know everything about them, which actually feeds into the love or joy, I guess, of reality TV. People like to have that quote unquote all access to their favorite people, whether it be Kim Kardashian or whether it be Toni Braxton or all these other types of celebrities. Like your doctor down the street, people just like to be nosy like that. So if it's one of those things where, so now you have to ask yourself, if you're just doing something just because, or doing something on YouTube or just because of the sake of you like what's going on, and you have fans now, whether you like it or not, you have people that like what you do. Do the fans have the right to know more about you? Should there be a line drawn? Because you put yourself out there, and as putting yourself out there, some of the consequences are, by putting yourself out there, there's some things are going to happen to you because that's just the way things are. Like, what would be the line? Where is it? What would be the rights? Not rights of the fan, but where the fan can I want to know more about you versus no, I can't know anything about you. I have a private life too.
I'm sorry to keep on work citing most of the things that I do because.
No, please do. No, it's good. Yes, please.
Yeah. Hey, when you do literature, you have to work cite every fucking thing in the world just in order to make sure that you're not plagiarizing people. Yeah. There's a guy on YouTube I follow called Maximilian Dude or Maximum Dude. He's this guy on Twitch that does a lot of fighting games, and he's no expert. He's a guy that plays a lot of fighting games, and he comes off as a really cool dude, as a guy that's just want to play fighting games for the sake of just playing it and being entertained along with his friends also. I think a year ago, he showed what his Twitch room looks like, and it looked pretty fucking awesome because it kind of gives you a down to earth type of perspective to it when it comes to a lot of people that really want to know who this guy is. And let me tell you, I want to just say this is personal side effect. His shit looks so amazing. He has he has the poster for Killer Instinct, the action figures on top, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 figures still in the box and type of shit. That is that just kind of blows my goddamn mind that somebody's able to do that in Twitch and stream and stuff like that. And people do donate money to him because he's a guy that is actually working hard to be a streamer and stuff. Yeah. I thought you were going to go to the sake of what happens if MTV Cribs didn't exist, because I think that's a really odd, healthy balance of having it and not having it, because I think that's a great limitation of showing what your house looks like and shit, because it is what it is. But being as MTV and Cribs and rappers and stuff, they kind of have to go above and beyond, which I like to just say, by the way, Cristal, Scarface, and Galaga are the three most reoccurring things in that whole series that was there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Every time they show the entertainment center, you can set your watch to, hey, yeah, I got my DVD copy of Scarface. Oh God, yes, we know you like fucking Scarface. Every fucking time. Oh Jesus, yeah, that was a staple. That was a staple for MTV Cribs. They always had that fucking Scarface. Shit like that. And then for me, I feel like I watch reality TV, and by that I mean I watch. I think the reality TV that I don't think will it could change again. Never say never. But I think the section of reality TV that will always be popular would be sports, because that's the one thing where it's kind of hard to script that. Now, can you throw games and maybe the mafia gets in all this stuff? Sure, but it's one of those things where if on a football team, if 11 guys, can all 11 guys throw all the same game? That'd be kind of hard to do, kind of thing. These are people that are actually training 365 days a year for these 16 games or 82 games in basketball or 163 games in baseball type of thing. That is actually real. They've been training their entire lives for that moment. So I don't think it'd be anything scripted there. It'd be and just how art imitates life, how some of the greatest stories you've seen are because they actually happen in true fucking life. So I think when it comes to sports, that is truly reality TV, because that's really happening. That ball did bounce off of his helmet into this other dude's hands. That guy really did jump 16 feet to catch that ball type of thing. That dude really did hit that ball 500 feet kind of thing. That's reality. That really happened. People are there. People were there to witness it. It wasn't a studio audience. It was an actual crowd that saw it, kind of thing.
What the hell is that show on HBO that's called that shows a football team before the season?
Hard Knocks.
Well,
okay. There's Hard Knocks on HBO. There's a season with whatever NFL team that Amazon is doing. So yeah, and those are somewhat scripted because what they do is like there's a narrator, of course, and they'll be like, oh, the personal lives of the athletes, and they'll probably have them like, oh, look at you doing something personal or something like that. But like the stuff on the field, like you can't script that, you know.
Sorry, you like literally broke up around the time when you were talking. So
oh, okay. Well, I was saying like, there's Hard Knocks in HBO, is one you were talking about, and there's a season with whatever team on Amazon. Amazon does a show like that now, and yeah, I mean, on the shows they have the segments when they're not on the football field, like oh, they're a family man and all this other stuff, and yeah, I guess that's scripted there. But like when they get on the actual field, the practice field or the game field, like you can't like script that. You can't be like, can you do that play again, like during the Super Bowl? Like, no, I can't fucking do this play again, you know.
That's sort of one of the main downsides I had when I was writing notes and stuff on here when it comes to reality shows didn't exist, because with shows like Hard Knocks or shows that involve like skill and talent, you wouldn't see as much as hard work being put through there. And it would kind of suck to not see that because okay, this football it's a universal thing. Well, universal thing as far as when it comes to this country. It's pretty much like if Jesus never existed, this would be as all
yes. Well, especially in this state, it's a religion. Yes.
Yes. So you would understand why is it a thing that people love it so much, especially out the country. And if you show them stuff like the Hard Knocks of people trying their fucking hardest in order to actually get to the position that they're trying to get to, then you would sort of come into an understand of how the hardships and stuff are. Or better yet, let's look at like stuff as far as UFC when we see guys train and fight and do their
Ultimate
best.
Fighter on like TNT or whatever that show. Yeah.
Well, I think that the problem with Ultimate Fighter and stuff like shows like that is that they put bullshit ass competition type of things on there to sort of negate and just pretty much put down the argument of why do these people want it this much in the sake of just exploitation. And well, we have to do something to show them that they're tough and hard guys instead of showing them actually fucking train and go through day in and day out and show you like how bad does somebody want it, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
I guess in a sense, there's so many times you can see a guy do like push-ups to get bored and change the channel and stuff, but
I will say this. I mean, we were talking about like the 50s and the 40s when first reality TV came around. I went to Rome. Like I said before in the beginning of the show, I did go to Rome, and I went to museums. A lot of these pictures, and I had a lot of the like audio tours. Honestly, reality TV's been around since like the Romans, if not earlier, because they'd have paintings, right? And then it'd be like, oh, this artist painted this painting of this beautiful woman. Well, in fact, this beautiful woman was his side piece. And if you look closely at the painting, you can see she had a wedding ring because she was married, but he painted over the wedding ring and da da da. Like, they did some shady ass shit. Like, Donald Trump has nothing on the Romans because they were painting golden showers for like years. There's literally a painting of like a woman who's naked and like cherubs around her, and there's like a cloud over her, and the cloud is raining down yellow, and literally it is a golden shower. She is literally getting golden showered in the picture, and the story's like, oh, there's a god that liked this mortal, and the god came down in the form of a cloud and rained upon her and it made her orgasm and shit like that. You're like, what the fuck? You know? So like, they had reality TV in their paintings. They just didn't know how to put it on moving, celluloid. They just had it in paintings and put it up in galleries, and people saw that shit kind of thing. So we've been having, it's because reality TV pretty much in a way is gossip, and we've been having that since man could communicate with each other.
Very true. It's very, very true on so many occasions. And and the reason why it's not as entertaining now is because I guess we've been so like I've been so like desaturated with all the dumb shit that's been happening and with Entertainment Tonight, TMZ, whatever BET is talking about at this point, or E-television, to the point where this doesn't really feel like as much as news to it. I mean, at this point now, imagine trying to like hear interesting history about that and without having some jackass saying like, oh yeah, this happened at the Real Housewives. So the downfall of that is like it doesn't seem as much as entertaining. And with that being said, you just told me a horror story I didn't realize about this. If reality shows didn't exist, we wouldn't have the joy of painting with Bob Ross.
Oh man, we wouldn't. Unless that's maybe educational TV. I don't know, but that is true.
Yeah.
Actually, Bob Ross, he's, you know.
Well,
Did you ever watch that Twitch stream of like Bob Ross for like 24 hours?
That's how I edit most of my podcasts, by watching him paint mountains.
we never have mistakes. They're just happy little trees.
Yeah. Interesting fact too that he owns an animal shelter, and sometimes he like brings a squirrel with him in his pocket while he paints too. It's the cutest thing ever. Yeah.
Was it ever on like on the show? The squirrel?
Well, they weren't crawling around, but he showed like a clip of him with like the little squirrel that's kind of hiding in his pocket and stuff. Mm-hmm. And God, it looks so goddamn adorable. Not making that shit up. You can go on Twitch right now.
That squirrel's just a happy little mistake. Just a happy little mistake. Marcus. Mm-hmm. So Marcus, any closing thoughts or any final parting things or something we could chew on or think about before we sign off?
I think the problem with reality shows is that it's sadly the form of entertainment we have to deal with now. And I think people hopefully are getting smarter because of this, knowing that shit is basically being staged.
It feels like people are getting dumber, dude. It's just, is it me or it just feel like people are getting dumber and not smarter?
I guess if you show some, like, okay, so Adam Ruins Everything did a thing about this, like, pretty much telling you everything about reality shows is completely fake. The Bachelor is one of the most notorious ones out there because it's this predetermined bullshit reality in order for, like, 20 to 30-year-old white women to root for the one chick that's not going to be beaten by the black chick. Like, that type of shit put out there.
Damn.
They've been on for 30 seasons, and not fucking once have I actually seen. I never watched this, but I heard the reoccurring thing of, like, they always have to have like a black contestant there. They always get kicked off at the second or third round.
I think just recently they had an actual black bachelorette. She was like a lawyer in Dallas.
And what happened? She got kicked out of the show?
No. She was the main person. She was like the one that there was like 20 guys, and she was the one they were vying for their attention. Like, it was a huge deal. Like, oh, the first minority or blah 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 kind of thing.
All white contestants too.
Well, I will say there were some other minority contestants, but I think you're right. A lot of them, like the brothers, did get kicked out really soon. So it's kind of like, I see what you're saying though. Point taken. But, yeah.
Damn, and I thought the Tyler Perry universe was ridiculous.
It's bad. That stuff, like, I don't get it, but I guess people like it, and they're still making them because people do like it. So yeah. But I'm sorry. Continue. I cut you off. I'm sorry. Continue.
Yeah, I think the main point of it is that. I think we got to the point where, like, we're just kind of getting tired of it. I'm hopefully saying this because we're now getting to the thing where, like, yes, okay, everything is just complete bullshit, but now it's to a point where you question yourself, why am I watching this? Why am I watching, like, people that are pretending to live miserable lives, make millions of dollars more than I'm doing? I'd rather just, like, spend my time and watch other reality shows like, okay, Bizarre Foods with Andrew Zimmerman,
or just watch scripted shows. People that have to put effort into them to tell me a story. You know.
Well, look, I'm just saying this to the people that are just like these reality show benders and stuff. Like, if I'm not talking to, I am talking down to these people that watch reality shows. There's way better content and stuff out there for free, even on YouTube, without even paying for it, and you can just be entertained by it. But if you just have to, like, get your fix to it, then just watch some educational shit or something that's more informal and helps out the mindset. I mean, go on, like, Vice's YouTube channel and look at most of the quote-unquote documentaries they put out there. There is some crazy shit on there that you would love to see.
I feel a lot of stuff with the reality TV, though, is like, it's such a train wreck. People watch it just to feel better about themselves. Like, man, my life is pretty shitty, but at least it's not like, XYZ on the screen type of thing,
Thinking about that, I heard that bullshit excuse before, but it's like, your life, my life is bad, but it's not bad. These people, because you're basically just putting your frustrations and stuff towards these people to make yourself feel better, and even then, that's a fucking lie in and of itself. Yeah. Because if the wheels ain't turning, then you're not doing really much of anything. I mean, shit. I've been one of those people that actually get stuck in reality shows. One of the shows I love to watch was like, what was that one called? Shark Tank and Bar Rescue, just to see
for real, nigga.
Yeah. But But no, but as far as like Bar Rescue, I watched that show because it was a character study of people trying to accomplish things when
True. That
in
is
rea-
true.
well, you could kind of see the people that are like, I actually want to make this happen versus the people like, this thing sucks, fix it for me, and not really
Yeah.
do most of anything after that. For Shark Tank,
And usually those people that are like fix it, this sucks, fix it for me type of thing, they usually don't last very long.
oh no, a number of these people, bars kind of closed down. Actually, a very interesting fact. So in Austin, there used to be this. This was one of the famous bar rescues episodes called Headhunters.
Yeah, I know. I've been to Headhunter. Well, I've
Ooh,
been to it when it was open.
that holy fuck, that place looked just awful, like
Yeah.
just straight awful. And you could just tell the guy. Well, I think Corey, the guy from doubletoasted.com, he said the guy was completely on coke, and it just made a ton of sense. I think he meant the guy. Austin's a really apparently a small city where you can meet amazing people.
It kind of is though.
No, because I saw how much that Uber ride cost.
Well, that's the weird thing about Austin. Is like Austin is the capital of Texas. It has like close to 1 million people in it, but still it's kind of like, hey, do you know that crazy dude who did that? Yeah, man, I hung out with him last week. That happens all the time in Austin.
Yeah, that kind of just amazes me how bullshit that argument sounds, but it actually is.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna
But
be
yeah,
there next week.
Yeah, so I know you'll have lots of fun. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Marcus, thank you so much for coming on. If the people want to reach you and listen to your lovely podcast, how would they do that?
Okay, going into my spiel. Yes, you can find me on Twitter, twitter.com/JonesWithSoda. Like I said on my podcast all the time, I am not ashamed of all of the just random porn that I put on there because that is who I am.
It's good porn, but it's a lot.
It's classy. I consider myself a class.
It's porn.
I'm a classy pervert. God damn it!
I'll give you that. You are a classy pervert. I'll give you that.
I respect all these type of hoes here, and you can also find me on my Facebook. If you are interested in like any show, if you listen to the podcast, if you listen and you're interested in a different idea of a show, just hit me up. Not really. I'm not gonna be standoffish and tell you to fuck off. Well, unless you're like a Russian model and stuff, and man, I'm gonna have fun fucking with these people.
That shit's just getting annoying, dude. That shit on Facebook where they're like adding you as a friend, that shit's getting annoying.
Clearly, this chick that's not showing her face but a two-piece bikini is surely my friend. Hopefully, nothing horrible will happen after this. Yeah, Instagram, it's whatever. I essentially take pictures of like Todd McFarlane figures because I like action figures. And SoundCloud, you also find me on SoundCloud. Obviously, Music Mondays with Marcus. SoundCloud.com/Music Monday Show. Hopefully that is the name of it. Hopefully I should get back on the grind soon of making episodes and whatnot. So yeah.
Once you're released from your military prison, yes.
Yes. Listen to Brockhampton's Saturation 2 album, everybody. So yeah.
There you go. Well, thank you, Marcus. If you want to hear back from me, I am back. I'm back on that horse, making podcasts every other week now. You can catch this one on YouTube. Just just search The What If Podcast. I have fixed it. Before, you used to search The What If Podcast, and my stuff wouldn't show up. I fixed how that works now. So now, if you do search on YouTube The What If Podcast, my podcast will be one of the first to show up. You can go on SoundCloud. Go to soundcloud.com, type in The What If Cast or soundcloud.com/The What If Cast. If you have any ideas or any concerns, if you want to say fuck me, fine, say fuck me. If you want Marcus to come back more often, sure, you can say that too. You can email the show at thewhatifcast@gmail.com. If an email is too formal for you, you can just send me something on Twitter, 160 characters, at @the_whatifcast. I am also on Instagram, so if you want to, if you want me to start following Instagram hoes all the time, even though I already do, just go to Instagram, search for What If Podcast, and I am on Facebook. Go to Facebook, in the search bar, type in What If Podcast, like the page, like the post, send me messages, all types of stuff. And I'm actually looking to get on Stitcher. I'll figure out how to do that. I don't know, but sooner or later I'm going to get on Stitcher, and I'll get on that as well. Also, don't forget, the links have been up on the video YouTube podcast. The links have been on the screen, but I'm going to save them for all those on the audio. If you want to donate to all the Hurricane Relief Fund stuff, you can go to ghcf.org. That's the Hurricane Harvey Relief Fund. You can go to volunteerflorida.org. That'd be for Florida and Hurricane Irma. And you can go to globalgiving.org, and that'd be for all the Caribbean, the Virgin Islands, Cuba, and the rest of them there. So, like I said, thanks, Marcus. Thanks, man. Have fun. Don't hitchhike. Hitchhiking's bad. And try to be safe out there. And hopefully have fun in Austin, man. You know it's a great town.
Yes, it is a great town with amazing people and amazing bars and amazing drunk people getting arrested on 6th Street.
It's awesome. And probably high, but the funny thing is they'll get arrested for getting drunk and not getting high. But that's Austin for you, guys. What up, what? So until next time, guys, I'm Ugo. This is Marcus, and we will see you guys next time on the What If Podcast. Say goodbye to everybody, Marcus.
Fuck off. Goodbye.